Hey everyone, it's Julian from Digital Trends, and I spent a little under a week with the LG G7 ThinQ in South Korea to learn a little more about LG's latest flagship smartphone. It's LG's first major phone of 2018, and overall I kind of like it. The main key features are the boombox speaker, which is a mono bottom-firing speaker, but what they did is they removed the module covering the speaker and turned the whole phone into a resonance chamber. So the audio almost feels like it's coming out of the whole phone. It gets incredibly loud and sounds really rich. It really does sound great, even better than phones with stereo speakers. There's also the super bright display mode, which is a little button you can toggle on near the brightness slider. It boosts the screen brightness to 1000 nits, allowing you to see the screen better outdoors, which is pretty useful. And speaking of the screen, it's a 6.1-inch IPS LCD, and it's colorful, vibrant, and definitely sharp with a 3120 by 1440 pixel resolution. And finally, one of the biggest additions is the AI key, a dedicated button that lets you call up the Google Assistant. You can even access Google Lens by double pressing the key. Design-wise, I don't think the G7 does much to stand out. The notch doesn't really bother me too much, but it's just easy to mistake the phone for something else. I do like the glass back, the vertical camera placement does look much better, and the new power button is kind of surprising. LG is known for using the fingerprint sensor as the power button, but that's no longer the case. I'm not sure how to feel about it yet, but it did make LG phones unique before. But I do like the convenience of double tapping their power button to open the camera. The LG G7 has all the high-end specifications you want. A Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 processor, 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage, or 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. It runs Android 8.0 Oreo, and what's concerning is that it does have a 3000 mAh battery, but LG said it managed to reduce power consumption of the screen, which should help with the battery lasting longer. We'll have to see when the full review. The camera setup is pretty similar to other LG phones. Both have 16 megapixels, but one is a wide-angle lens. The main camera now has optical image stabilization, and so far we like what we see with the camera. The wide-angle lens is certainly useful, but at the same time we don't think the camera setup can beat our current favorites, the Huawei P20 and the Google Pixel 2. LG has added a portrait mode and it works on the front and back cameras. It's not bad, and you'll also find the same AI cam feature that's on the LG V30s. Basically, it can identify scenes, so when you take a photo of a sunset, it can understand what you're looking at and it will try to tweak the image to make it look even better. Oftentimes it mostly just boosts the saturation, but it's not as intense as the Huawei P20's AI mode. There's also a night mode in the camera, which lowers the megapixel count, but it enables a much brighter photo, useful for those low light scenarios. You can pre-order the LG G7 ThinQ now. We'll hear about the price very soon, but we're hoping it's priced around $600 to $650 because I'm not sure if the key features on this phone are interesting enough to get people to buy it. That being said, I'm very much looking forward to switching to the G7 for the next few weeks to see how it ranks against the competition.